Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogbot333. Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, The Ruin. As Arcade Crane, last video, you can open up the GUI. We've secured 3 regions. Kiev, Reichenaustadt, and Hugsdorf. I'm trying to figure out, should we start working up here now, or should we consolidate our support over here? Right now I'm thinking a little bit of the latter. The control is split over here, and I'm okay with letting the UNR have some control. Honestly. For now, let's do a false tranquility. We have to, and we'll continue to walk a difficult tightrope. The barbarity of the Germans knows no end, and every success our fighters achieve brings with it a terrible cost and reprisals against our citizens. The Germans do not consider us fully human, and so we must act with consideration and restraint. We must take care to present a false sense of tranquility, and so prevent such atrocity. But at the same time, we will watch, learn, and wait. In every forest, outpost, arms depot, town, railway station, and city, we'll have eyes and ears. When the time comes, we will be ready. Yeah. Ooh, shit, actually. That's interesting. I'll actually target collaborators out here. And that got us a good amount of support. And then attack some guys over there. Yeah, we're kicking ass right now. Are we going to control all these states? Is that how it's going to work when we take over? I'm not sure. Let's end our absence, actually. When the radios crack with life and the sounds of gunfire emerge, brave communes will emerge in the West. The West Russian War resulted in the decimation of most of our influence in Ukraine, with only the eastern regions and those bordering Odessa remaining feasible for operations. While this retreat was necessary, it has resulted in difficulties, including a strained relationship with the existing Russian minority, and called into question our claims to Ukraine itself. Yet, even after 2 decades of propaganda against us, we retain sympathizers across Ukraine, even in the West. These sympathies are strongest in Zlotomir, Vinnytsia, Volyn, and Maxim Kornichuk, the regional partisan commander. Is confident this support can be turned into manpower. When the time comes, he is confident that a force can be raised, and men will once again rally to the banner of a socialist republic. Weaken the UIA. And also a larger presence in some of these areas. A lot more of a sneaky one. I'll expand the presence in Kiev. Issued a crisis. Men stood by the sill calmly and waited their turn to jump. Out with a crash. Oh, a little bit of a mini rant. I was uploading a Kaiser Redux part, and the little event for the American Civil War, that little snippet of music got that whole video demonetized. I wasn't going to make much money off it anyway. It was just like, you know, the slight annoyance of that happening annoyed me immensely. Playa. The DYP victory. Which is interesting, because I don't remember seeing them have that big a control. YouTube copyright is mega fucking cringe. It really is. Like, I'm not a blind YouTube hater whenever they do something weird and questionable, like, because I kind of understand to a degree. They gotta hold down some sort of a line and be a little harder, because if they're a little bit too generous, then, you know, they could get sued to hell. But it still kind of sucks when shit like that happens. 3-decade tragedy. The Ukrainian insurgent army is a force which some might see as an ally in a struggle for Ukrainian liberation, yet their actions show the danger that they pose to us and any true friend of Ukraine. From their inherently hateful ideology to their total slaughter of Jews to tragedies in Volyn and eastern Galicia, they are little more than a hateful band of raiders masquerading as freedom fighters, and we are hardly the ones to see the results. Only ones to see the results of their brutality. The peasantry in Volyn and Galicia who supported them have seen their support begin to wane as a result of EPA's methods. When these same regions were occupied by Poland, these same peasants were strong supporters of the Communist Party. With their support of EPA fading, perhaps they can join us again. Taking control over here would actually be kind of nice. I'll start my, because our focuses are going to encourage us to go over here. So, that did nothing. That just devastated shit. But we'll do that to open up our support a little bit over here. And then we'll expand a little bit more support. Probably in the south, I'm thinking. Enlarge our cell presence. Get a little bit extra support. And let's go ahead and check out, I think, our last little city lore bit, at least in Ukraine itself. Rostov. Strategically positioned on the crossroads of key transportation routes, and with access to vital stocks of wheat, iron, and timber, Rostov has become an essential hub for the Nazi economic machine. The city serves as a logistical center for the supply and movement of troops, weaponry, and raw materials to fronts all throughout the Reich and its bristling port. Most importantly, Rostov connects trade from the Black Sea with the river routes of other Reich commissariats. Oil tankers from Caucasian steam up the Volga from Astrakhan across the Volga-Don shipping canal near Polisburg. Now Abaddon through Rostov. The city is an easy route for the freight of all kinds, and a valuable passage for continued operation of German economic exploitation in Eastern Europe. Yeah, go figure. The revolt that failed. Argentine shit. 3-decade tragedy. Now a 4-decade farce, rather. Perhaps the greatest mistake made during our liberation of the Western lands was the belief that we could trust the UNDD, bourgeois Ukrainians who once ruled Galicia, a mistake we came to regret when they betrayed the Socialist Council Republic. Their treason left them helpless to stop the Germans afterwards, but remnants remain in the form of the UNRA. This group is a deceptive, malicious gang of Polish collaborators who dare to champion Ukrainian freedom. Their understanding of liberty would entail only the exploitation of a Ukrainian worker by one of his own. They are incompatible with our own vision, but unlike the UPA, they command some genuine loyalty from both peasants and bourgeois, a fact that will make dislodging them more difficult than the UPA. Yeah, shit. And the Germans made a strike out there. Now they have more control over the region than they don't. But we and start enlarging our presence out there. At least get a little bit. We can't enlarge shell presence yet. Actually, I'll focus mainly out here. Actually, we're gonna more or less wipe out support for these guys here. Yeah, there we go. Jesus. 40, 46, 13. Let's demonstrate their impotence. Both the UPA and the UNRA offer promises and visions of a Ukraine free from German or Russian domination. It's a respectable goal, one which we share. The hard truth is that neither can achieve it. The RK's forces are considerable, despite their separation from Germany. To defeat them will be no easy task, and only one we are able to handle. Well, they have only collaborators, scattered inexperienced partisans led by old fading generals from the era of the People's Republic. Our forces are prepared for decades for this moment. While their influence ends at the borders of Vinnytsia and Zhytomyr, we have widespread support throughout the country. For any who truly wish to see the Reich Kommissar fall, Ukraine be free, we are their only option. Well, actually, that's going to hit our war support. I'm going to do the other one, because we can lose political power. We can't lose command power. For as many years as we've been fighting, we've been suffering. The baseless accusations of internal enemies, the UNRA and the UPA both. They claim that we are relics of the past, relics of Moscow, relics of failure. That they, as a result of a true inheritance of Ukraine. Nothing could be further from the truth. We are the ones who united our language, who fought Polish incursion in Volhynia, who have fought the Germans for over 20 years, who have never collaborated as they have. We are the righteous, not they, and we will ensure that the people know this. The Ukrainian NRA has been decimated. God in heaven, Trujillo, 6 feet under. Look at that. We'll do like random tech stuff. It's not gonna matter what tech they have. Only matters what technology we have. The devastation in this area is brutal. Holy shit. Discredit their cause. Next, let's go ahead and work on the lessons of a long march. The 1950s were dark days in Ukraine. Our union, which had delivered us from our oppression from the Russian Tsar, had fallen, and replacing it was a brutal and relentless boot of a Teuton. Ukraine did not take its opposition lightly and immediately took up arms as directed by what remained of the old authorities. Many Ukrainians fell in the fight. It seemed hopeless, and yet hope emerged once more. From the east, the Red Army surged again and distracted the occupiers long enough for Ukraine to finally realize its long sought-after freedom. But alas, it was not to be. The few times we won against the superior German arms, we would, in our liberated territories, be mercilessly attacked and our fighters annihilated. We were immature and inexperienced young fools, desperate for freedom, yet without the means to achieve it. It is different now. We have changed, and we have learned. Our men have cut their teeth against the Germans for long enough to make it a science. We have agonized over our mistakes enough to say where we have went wrong and never do those things again. We shall liberate and hold Ukraine without our past mistakes. Hi, how are you? Welcome back. Destroy propaganda. That did nothing. Disrupt infrastructure. That still does something. That actually hurt us more. Shit. That got us back up to where we were. What did I miss? We're owning Nazis. We're sticking it to them. We're taking up more control of the country. So, we're doing good work. Dominican Civil War. Oh, we better focus our attention back on Kiev, actually. A little house on the outskirts of the village near Donetsk. The old partisan was writing a letter. He knew that his hour was coming, that death was at his doorstep, so he decided to spend the very last days of his life writing a message to his family. He stopped writing for a couple moments before finally resuming. For almost my entire life, I've fought against the oppression of the working class, against the invaders, tyrants, enemies of the common people. First it was Tsar and the Whites, then the counter-revolutionaries, and in the end the Germans. However, all my efforts, as those of thousands and thousands of others, went up in vain. Ukraine lies in ruins, and there's no one to clean them up and rebuild a country to glorious days of the past, to the days of a union. The young generation, though continuing the fight for sacred ideals the nation once stood for, among many other brotherly nations, is untested and idealistic. They're doomed to fail. They don't stand a chance in the face of German occupiers. So I ask, beg you, well, it's not too late. Flee Ukraine. There is no hope of ever breaking our chains. I can sense the war coming, the Great War that we've not yet seen since the 40s. And while we still have our fragile peace, you should run away from this place. Run away to Turkey. It's not that far away from here. And then further abroad. Ukraine may be lost, but not the world. I wish you good luck wherever you may be. Remember that I love you. Yours, Dmitro Ambrosiev. After the partisan finished his letter, he felt relief. The only thing he still had to do was done. He may rest peacefully. He went to sleep and never woke up. Thus ended the story of his struggle, with only his dog as its witness. Well, that's fucking depressing. Yeah, Jesus. Ooh. We got a choice between army shits. Let me command centralization. I mean, this one just kind of looks like the better one. Although we'll get command power from this. Let's limit command decentralization. No fighting force is perfect. No soldier or partisan is without the potential for improvement. But it would be a grievous mistake to believe that our partisan commanders who fought for decades lack the skills we need. They know the land, they know their soldiers, and they know their limits. Imposing the will of the exiled general staff is a recipe for disaster. Risks alienating commanders, bypasses operational needs, and implies we lack faith in our people. All these commanders need is additional training to enhance their skills, be they operational, tactical, or logistical, which we can provide. It is critical that they be empowered to operate as we deem necessary. The Wehrmacht has demonstrated that this approach can work, and we shouldn't be afraid to do it either. Alright, let's... While we still have time, we'll continue a little further, just to go ahead and consolidate some support. Gods in the north, yep. Propaganda, structure, occupiers attacked, target collaborators. What do I want a large cell presence in? I'll do it over here. There we go. And with that, I'm going to leave it here for now. Thanks as always for watching, gang. Like if you liked, dislike if you didn't. Leave any feedback or comments down in the comment section below. I read all of them I get. Appreciate any feedback you might have for me. Check them out, my various links down in the description box below. I think you all know the drill from here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.